And I
That's a really good take, actually.
I agree.
So people would come to their people manager, it could be me, and say, I would like to go from intermediate to senior. And then we have a career ladder and we sit down and we look at the career ladder and we ask also people to self-evaluate a little bit. Then I would talk to the people relevant to assess this person and I would gather feedback. And I want that feedback to be as honest and constructive as possible. So the person I'm talking to knows exactly what to do and how to develop. What's really important is that people feel that it's transparent what they can do and should work on to evolve.
We've also had a focus on not just making formal processes, right?
Yeah.
But making it so that people, that it's relevant.
Yeah.
That we support that people, as you say, are honest, that get the right feedback at the right time.
Yeah.
So that the lines around the formal process are clear.
Yeah.
So that it feels efficient.
Yes, but it's also important that there's the same formal process for everybody. Like there's a structure that's the same for everybody.
Definitely.
But then the way to achieve whatever you want to achieve can be very individual.
Yeah.
Maybe there is one point in the career ladder where you're not 100%, and that's okay. Then we talk about that and we go into that with our eyes open.
I think for us, it's actually helping people represent themselves in a well-reflected way, right?
Yeah.
And not just, as you say, try and score the best points in a system to kind of get the promotion. We want people who are ready for it, like mature into it. So becoming senior, for example, means that you're ready to look at yourself from the outside as well.
Yes.
And not just grading yourself high because you really want it, but knowing your weaknesses and how to work with them, being open about that. It's a big part of like us opening that space up, right? I think the people in us have a sparring partner to move things forward, right?
Yes.
Not a cushion to just place info and leave it there. Like we will always action on something.
Yes.
Of course, there's confidentiality and things that can be more private to work with. But I think for us, it's also sometimes becoming a better artist or designer or people working in tech. What moves you forward will be breaking through something in your personal development, right? And that, I think for us, sometimes we can be that fresh set of eyes. Is like, you don't need to push so hard in your craft area. It's actually about like having a new perspective on how you work, or when you don't work, are you really off work? Or
there is also a typical story in the industry, tech in general, is that you get someone who are really good at their job, and you make them a lead, and suddenly they are really outside of their comfort zone. Because maybe they were a great programmer or a great artist or designer, but becoming a lead is leading with people, misunderstandings, managing a roadmap, managing priorities, etc. And we are giving them the skills as well. How do you become a better lead? How do you foster proper conversations across departments, stakeholders, navigating the transition between a good individual contributor to a great lead, and bridging that gap is something that we help with formal training, but also ongoing coaching and mentoring.
The people manager helped me grow towards the senior role by being a reflector. It helped me look at myself in a way I couldn't by myself. It is the tool set of communicating both between artistically minded people and technically minded people, and find a more precise and more deliberate way of collaborating between the two teams that made me grow within a senior position.
And sometimes it could also be about people who come to us and say they want to advance, and you can advance in many ways. I mean, one step could be going from intermediate to senior, but it could also be to be lead. If you want to try to lead people, then we help with that as well.
So it's for us to also look at, are we looking at a 3 months, half a year, 2 year timeline? Like, when are we trying to achieve this with the person?
And again, we try to make that very transparent to people.
And I think is also where we've seen some of our best feedback from both the company and people, is bringing that transparency and that honesty into conversations. It's not about letting people know, sure, this will happen. It's about saying, this might not happen then if we work hard at this and this. We have a great shot at it. Like, it's partnering up with people at a very honest level.
We also have budgets to help people develop their skills so they can take courses if they want to. They'll find them themselves, or we'll know about something and they'll take a course, and we support that, of course, as well. And we make sure that we talk to the right people, so it's going to be okay for people to go on a course and get some inspiration.
And to give, again, a mandate to spend time during work hours to train yourself towards the goal settings that you have. We've seen people in the company moving from being in audio design, moving into being a game director.
Exactly.
And that journey is something we can support both with a budget, but also with time inside work hours.
Yeah.
The people manager is helping both me and the team develop our skills as sound designers by helping facilitate ways for us to stay cohesive. Even though IOI is developing several projects now, we've been trying to think of ways that we can still stay together and do things as a team. And so we developed this idea for something that the team calls Global Days, where we pick a subject that maybe someone can do a presentation on, or we do a sound design challenge where we can take some audio and work together. And the people manager came in and helped us carve out the space with production to do that during work hours as part of our day without having to, add extra time or work late. On top of that, some of the guys on the team, they're looking to expand their skills and they want to take courses, and the people manager has been very supportive of, well, find what you want to do and come to me, and they have budgets that allow them to do those things. And then for me, I wanted to do a presentation for the team in our Global Days on a piece of software that we have that I feel we're underutilizing. And so I went to the people manager and I said, I'd like to get these courses to do this so that I can give a presentation to the team. And they said, absolutely, full support.
Yeah, and we also have the IOI week happening annually now. And that's basically a space for us and all the people here to have a week where they can team up across projects, across disciplines, sit on their own if they want to focus in on something, but basically do anything inside of game development. And last year there was so much fun seeing
great stuff.
Basically the passion of people unfolding, their passion also for the project and the company, playing out into all sorts of, let's say, inspiring outputs, right? Yeah. And some like insanely helpful for moving the projects forward. Yeah. And also just a creative like relief of sometimes the pressure that builds during production.
Exactly. There's already now projects I can hear that people are saving for the week, where they want to dive into that. Yeah, it's super nice.
So we help facilitate that, make sure that people make the most of the week, make sure that time is set aside from production, and also that it's not only creative, but it's the entire company coming together around that. So it's like a week of self-reflection, renewal,
and fun. Yeah.
Let's relax our face.
Let's relax our faces.
Yeah.
Did it.